Hello friends, welcome to all of you in lecture number 5 on redox titration. This is Dr. Venkatesh Gopula, Assistant Professor in Department of Chemistry at ARICS College, Vaibhavadi. Friends, we have completed the construction of a titration curve for a one electron system as well as a multi-electron system in last few lectures. In this video, we are going to study this theory of redox indicators as well as the criteria for selection of an indicator. Let's start. The theory of redox indicators. The few organic compounds have ability to undergo the oxidation reduction reactions. The color of oxidized form of an indicator in the solution is significantly different from that of a reduced form. Here we have represent the general reaction of an indicator. You can see here the oxidized form of indicator when accept the electrons it get reduced. Okay, so from this reaction we can calculate the potential of the that indicator in the system, that is given by the Nernst equation again, that is given by the potential of an indicator in the system is equal to the standard potential of an indicator minus 0.05916 divided by n into log of the concentration of reduced form of an indicator divided by the oxidized form of an indicator. Now here the n again represents the number of electrons which take part in the oxidation reduction reaction. For a given redox indicators, the standard potential of an indicator is constant. That means the potential of an indicator will only depend upon the ratio of the reduced form of an indicator divided by the oxidized form of a indicator. Okay, so the color of a indicator in the solution only depends upon this ratio. Ultimately, the potential of the indicator is also depend upon this ratio. That means as potential of an indicator changes, the ratio will also change, and so the color of solution also changes. In case of acid-base indicators, the color of a reduced form will dominate only when the ratio, that is a reduced form of a indicator divided by the oxidized form of indicator, is equal or greater than the 10. Okay, and that of a color of oxidized form will dominate when the ratio, that is a reduced form of a indicator divided by the oxidized form of indicator, is equal or less than the 10. Okay, or you can also say that if you take the reverse reciprocal, you will get the the ratio of the concentration of oxidized form of indicator to the reduced form of indicator is greater than or equal to 10. Okay, so in these two cases, reduced form will only dominate when that ratio is equal or greater than equal or greater than to 10, and the color of oxidized form will dominate only when that ratio is less than or equal to 10. If you consider once again the Nernst equation, that is the potential of an indicator is given by the standard potential of an indicator minus 0.05916 divided by n into log of that ratio. Now if we have already seen the ratio is equal or greater than to 10 or less than or equal to 10. Okay, if you put the value inside the log, okay, so the log of 10 is 1. The value of log of 10 to the base 10 is 10. Okay, so in that case this Nernst equation can be modified. The potential of indicator is equal to standard potential of an indicator plus or minus 0.05916 divided by n. Here again the n is nothing but the number of electrons which take part in the reaction. Okay, So the typical redox indicator will exhibit the detectable color change only when the potential changes the 0.118 divided by n volt, okay, after the addition of the titrant. With many indicators for n equal to 2, the change that is only 0.059 volt is sufficient, okay. So here we can say that if the potential change is in the factor of 0.118 divided by n, then we can see the change in the color of an indicator, okay. For n equal to 2, that is a number of electrons which take part in the reaction is only 2. In that case, the 0.059 volt is sufficient, okay, in the change in potential. That in that case we can see the change in the color in the redox indicator, okay. Now let's see the criteria for selection of an indicator. The potential at which the color transition occurs depends upon the standard potential of an indicator system. If it is near the equivalence point, the potential of the titration where there is a rapid change in potential in excess of 0.118 volt, then color change occurs at the equivalence point. The transition range of a redox indicator must fall within the steep equivalence point break of a transition curve. The redox indicator must be rapid and it must be reversible. If a reaction is slow or irreversible, then color change will be gradual and the sharp end will not be obtained. Okay, so last 2 points are very important. Okay, because if redox indicator reaction is slow, then we will get the change in color will be very slow or gradual, and the end point will not be obtained at the right point. That's why this redox indicator reaction must be rapid and it must be reversible. So these are the criteria for the selection of an indicator. Now we have collected some indicators, list of oxidation reduction indicators, okay. The first one is a nitrofuran indicator, which having the pale blue color in oxidized form while red in color in reduced form, and its transition potential is 1.25 volt, okay. While the furan indicator having the pale blue color in oxidized form, red in reduced form, and its potential is 1.06. Diphenylamine sulfonic acid having purple color in oxidized form and colorless in reduced form, and it's having 0.84 volt transition potential. The diphenylamine is having the violet in the oxidized form and colorless in the reduced form. Its transition potential is 0.76, while the methylene blue is colorless in oxidized form, while in reduced form it is blue in color, and the potential is 0.53 volt. Finally, we have taken the indigo tetrasulfonate indicator, which is colorless in reduced form and blue in the oxidized form, and its transition potential is found to be 0.36 volt. In the next lecture, we will see the use of diphenylamine and furan as redox indicators. Thank you for watching.